Hello everyone, I'm back with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. According to a CNN poll, Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden by 5 percentage points in Georgia. And he is leading Biden by 10 points in Michigan. And these are both very important states in a presidential election. Another poll by Bloomberg News and Morning Consult found that Trump is leading Biden in North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, Michigan, Arizona, and also in the state of Wisconsin. That is where I live. I live in Wisconsin. And what this poll found is that Trump is leading Biden in some very important states, including Wisconsin. And these are very interesting results. And I wonder what the Biden camp thinks about this. Now, my friends, I have to add one thing. You cannot completely rely on poll results when you are many months away from Election Day. And we are in December of 2023, and the presidential election is in November of 2024. So we are something like 11 months away from Election Day, presidential election of 2024. And in politics, a lot can change in a week. In a single week, a lot can change. And so being approximately 11 months away from Election Day, I think at this point you can't completely rely on the poll results. There can be many shocks and many surprises and many revelations over the next several months. However, such poll results definitely help boost Trump's confidence, and I think such poll results also make the Biden campaign worried. My friends, I'm going to ask you a question, and you can answer this by going to my website, tossofanam.net, and by sending me a message. You can also connect with me on social media and share with me your thoughts. You can also email me at tossif@tossifanam.net. So I'm going to ask you a question and you can share with me your answers, okay? The question is, if border security is your top priority, which presidential candidate do you trust more? If border security is your top priority, which presidential candidate do you trust more? Which candidate do you think can ensure border security once elected to office? Is it candidate Joe Biden, who is the incumbent president? I don't think so. It is under the Biden administration that this mass illegal immigration is taking place. Since 2021, and that's the year when Joe Biden came to office. Since 2021, millions of immigrants have entered the United States illegally through the southern border. Undocumented immigrants. When immigrants enter the United States through the proper immigration process, they are legal immigrants. But the undocumented immigrants are those who enter the United States illegally. These are foreign nationals who violate our nation's immigration laws and enter the United States without visa, without proper paperwork, without authorization. And since President Joe Biden came to office, millions of foreign nationals have entered the United States illegally through the southern border. And the Biden administration is not stopping this. But when President Trump was in office, he fought hard. He fought hard to make sure that we secure the southern border. But at the time, many liberals opposed his proposal to build a border wall. Border security, I think, involves multiple components. We need a physical barrier. You can call it a wall, you can call it a fence, but we need some sort of a physical barrier at the southern border. But we also need personnel. We need human beings protecting the border. In this case, those human beings are the border patrol agents who protect the border, who secure the border. We also need technology, drones, heat sensing technology, night vision technology, and much more. Technology that can help border patrol agents keep the border secure, keep the southern border secure. We need all of these components to ensure border security. What we also need is a president who is willing to secure the border. We need a commander-in-chief who has the willingness to secure the southern border. And that willingness is missing from the Biden administration. The willingness was present when President Donald Trump was in office. But now, with President Biden in power, his administration doesn't have the willingness to secure the southern border. And that's my observation. You can share with me your thoughts. I think the poll results show that Trump is leading. The poll results that show that Trump is leading, these poll results are an indication of the American people's desire for border security. When American people see the border crisis, and then they see the impact of the crisis in communities across the country, people get very worried. And as a result, the support for Joe Biden is slowly waning away. It's waning away. It's actually waning away pretty rapidly, I think, not slowly. Joe Biden no longer has the support that he had previously, even from many liberals and moderates. Many moderates, I think, are moving away from Joe Biden because they see this border crisis and the devastation in many communities across the country. My friends, different voters have different priorities. There are some voters who care about single issues. For one voter, the Second Amendment may be the biggest priority. For some other voter, abortion may be the biggest issue. For someone else, environmental issues may be the most important. But for most Americans, the economy and public safety are the biggest priorities. Economy and public safety. People want good jobs. They want an environment in which businesses can thrive. People want low prices, affordable gas, and affordable groceries. And we all want safe communities. We all want safe neighborhoods. And right now, some of these things seem to be missing. People are having to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. Businesses are struggling because of rising costs and shortage of workers. Gas prices high, groceries are unaffordable. Crime is rising, and many neighborhoods across the country have become less safe. And while all of these problems are going on, our southern border is wide open. And this is happening because of the Biden administration's open border policy. The arrival of the migrants are resulting in overcrowding in some communities. Many neighborhoods are being disrupted because of the various plans and proposals for migrant housing. Examples would be New York City and Chicago. My friends, taxpayer dollars are being used up to provide services to the undocumented immigrants. And all of these are happening because of the Biden administration's open border policy. The border crisis is definitely hurting states like Texas and Arizona, and these are border states. But the impacts of the border crisis are being felt in many states across the country, including states that are far away from the southern border. Here in Wisconsin, here in the state of Wisconsin, in the Midwest, and Wisconsin is not a sanctuary state. Here in Wisconsin, we are feeling the impacts of illegal immigration in various communities. And this is happening because of the Biden administration's open border policy. So let's talk about the voters. Who are the voters? The voters are people like you and me, U.S. citizens who deeply care about this country. And it is no surprise that polls are showing that Trump is ahead and Biden is falling behind. According to the polls, Trump is ahead and Biden is falling behind, and it's not a surprise. I'm a conservative voter, so I vote for conservative candidates. I never voted for Joe Biden. But there are many voters out there who voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but they now regret making the choice that they made at the time, the choices that they made in 2020. Many Joe Biden voters now regret voting for Joe Biden. Many Biden voters are now realizing that his administration's open border policy is hurting our country. And so it doesn't surprise me that Joe Biden is falling behind in the polls. Hardworking, freedom-loving American citizens are now seeing the chaos and devastation caused by the border crisis. Now, I have to remind you again, my friends, don't take the poll numbers for granted. As I said, polls can change. Different polls often come up with different results. But when you look at the poll numbers from different states, and you see that Trump is leading, it does make sense. There are many reasons why voters are turning away from Joe Biden. And as they are turning away from Joe Biden, who is the prominent alternative? The prominent alternative at this point is Donald Trump. As people move away from Joe Biden, many of them are going towards Trump. I understand that Trump is not the GOP nominee yet. And I don't know if he's going to be the GOP nominee or not. I'm not going to make predictions. There are other Republican candidates in the race, but what we do know is this: at this point, as of now, Donald Trump is clearly the front runner on the GOP side. Now, whether you like Trump or not, it is true that Trump is the front runner at this point. My friends, there are other GOP candidates who are running in this presidential race. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, they are all trying to catch up. But Donald Trump is still way ahead. According to a Fox News survey, Trump is at 69% in the primary race. Wow. 69%. And Ron DeSantis is at 12%. Nikki Haley is at 9%. Vivek Ramaswamy is at 5%. And Chris Christie's number is at 2%. And Asa Hutchinson is at 1%. And these are numbers from a Fox News survey. I have to make some comments about the GOP candidates who are running. When you think about the need for border security, ask yourself the question, ask yourself, who is the candidate most likely to successfully secure the southern border if elected? at this point, I can tell you that Donald Trump has the advantage in this regard because he has already served one term in office. Donald Trump can point to his record of actions while in office. And what the other candidates have to do is they'll have to say what they are going to do if elected, once elected. So the primary candidates from the GOP side, as they talk to the voters, they have to say what they are going to do to secure the border if they are elected, if they become president. But Donald Trump can point to the actions that he already took while in office. And so, from that standpoint, Donald Trump has the advantage. But once again, it's too early to tell who will win the GOP nomination. A lot can change over the next few months. But what we do know is the fact that voters cannot trust the Joe Biden administration, particularly on the issue of border security. The Biden administration's actions have resulted in the border crisis that we see today. With President Joe Biden in office since 2021, over 6 million foreign nationals have entered the United States illegally. Over 6 million people have crossed the southern border to enter the United States illegally. And that's why I believe that the American voters want a new president, someone who will secure the border. And who is it going to be? Is it going to be Donald Trump? He has already served one term. As I said, he can point to his record of actions, the actions that he took to secure the southern border. He can just point those actions out to people and make the case for why the people of America should elect him again. He has that advantage. But then there are others running in the race, as I mentioned. Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson. Who is it going to be? My friends, share with me your thoughts. Share with me your thoughts. Once again, my website is tossifanam.net. Please go to my website, send me a message. You can also sign up for my e-newsletter. I would appreciate that. You can also check out my list of 98 published opinions in newspapers, in various newspapers across the country. I have written 98 letters to editors and op-eds. And if you want to read those writings, you will find the list on my website. Go to tossifanam.net, click on published opinions, and you'll see a list of 98 published writings. As of yesterday, I kept saying 97, but today the 98th letter to the editor, 98th writing, which is a letter to the editor, was published. I wrote about the rising health insurance costs and how people are in a lot of pain and suffering. So that letter to the editor was published in the Capital Times. That's a newspaper here in Wisconsin. And so now I'm at 98. If 2 more writings are published, it'll be a century. It'll be 100. So I'm looking forward to that. My friends, I appreciate you all staying connected with me. Please continue to listen to my podcast. And as I've said before, I believe in freedom of speech. And so I not only express my views through my podcast, I also want people to reach out to me. I also want my listeners to reach out to me and share with me their views and opinions. Whether you agree with my viewpoints or you disagree with my viewpoints, I would encourage you to reach out to me. If you agree with me, let me know. What is it that you agree with? What views do you agree with? What are the things that I've said that you seem to agree with? And if you disagree with something, if you don't agree with me on any issue, let me know that. Share with me your thoughts. Thanks again. I hope to be back again with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.